Hello everybody, back again for some more stuff, and today, that's right, you're in for another treat. It's time for the PEGCAST, baby. It's time for the PEGCAST. This time you're not gonna hear me turn on my car because I figured that I wanted to what am I saying? Sorry. I'm trying to get out of this parking lot. And that's really taken my attention. Because everybody knows you gotta practice safe driving. Right, so I wanted to turn on the PEGCAST later than normal, because I wanted to make it so that, like, when I back up in my car, it goes beep, 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 beep. And I didn't want to subject you to that. So, I thought that this time I would not. Also, everybody, time for a rejoicing moment. At some point during the last PEGCAST, my average miles per gallon increased to 45.1. That means over the last two PEGCASTs, my average miles per gallon in my car has increased from 49.0. Has increased from 44.9 to 45.1. And that means that I've been doing a good job of driving in a fuel-efficient way. Because, like, 45 is good, dude. My car is, it's from 2011. I'm driving a 2011 Toyota Prius. And, like, the miles per gallon is pretty nice, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. The last two times I did this, I thought about something to talk about beforehand so that I wouldn't be in this exact situation, but I didn't this time, so I don't know what to talk about. I guess I'll have to think about it. Wow, there's a truck over there. It's like I assume it's like a dog grooming company, but their thing is like, oh yeah, it's mobile grooming. Their logo is a bone with, like, a cute little doggy mouth biting out of it and the nose. It's really cute. Here's something crazy that happened, guys. So, well, first of all, just to get this out of the way, this is my last day of no gaming. And this might sound like a cop-out to all of you guys, but I have not been refraining from Pokemon-related things as long as they're not related to games. So, there has been a enormous leak from Game Freak, the company that makes Pokemon, and just like a gargantuan amount of information is out to the public now about Pokemon. And there have been lots of new sprites for little guys. I've been seeing a lot of people, like, draw renditions of, like, scrapped Pokemon. And there have also been these folk tales that have been released about, like, crazy stuff. Like, there's a there's like a Typhlosion that groomed a child. And these stories, they've been crazy. I saw one person commented on it and said, like, you know, all these people talking about the Pokemon stories are probably thinking about it the wrong way. Like, I don't have any reason to really know what's going on, but my hypothesis, I'm still speaking from the perspective of the tweeter, from the person who wrote the tweet. My hypothesis, also, everybody, really quick, can we talk about how long my left blinker has been on? That was the longest light ever. Like, what the heck? I'm finally going, but jeez. I mean, that was brutal. That was pretty brutal. But yeah, they were saying I don't actually, like, have any knowledge that, oh my god, a Cybertruck just went flying past me. That thing is terrifying. I almost merged into the lane, like, at the same time as the Cybertruck was flying past. My car actually would have exploded. That thing is terrifying. I'm right behind it at the light. Wow. It's got, like, a Cerberus thing on it. Do all the Cybertrucks have a Cerberus thing at the bottom right? On the back? Or is that just this one? Did this person get a special Cerberus edition? whatever. Point is, this person was saying that they think that, just like on a hunch, oh my god, they're actually driving so fast. Why? Maybe it's a new Cybertruck and they feel like a gamer right now. But they're saying these folktales, they're not all that different from real folktales, right? So real folktales, you'll hear like, there is a monster and the monster did this atrocious stuff and they live in the mountains. And, so, yeah, basically, oh, right, sorry, I was focused on driving, but, yeah, they were saying that, like, this monster does horrible stuff, and the Pokemon version of that, the way they might have gone about it, is, they may have just taken real folktales and replaced whatever the monster was with a Pokemon. And then, if they were going to include it in the games, then they would work backwards, making it more like in line with the Pokemon brand and their like public relations, making it like less insane and more rated E for everyone, as opposed to creating folk stories that are E for everyone from the onset, So maybe this story about Typhlosion actually was like not, the reason it's insane is not because this one insane person wrote it, but instead because they'll take a real folktale and then workshop it to become something that would be something that's okay with being in a Pokemon game. I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have that much else to say about the leaks other than like there's some really cute Pokemon in there. I see these people who are like, oh my gosh, this Pokemon is so cute, why'd they scrap him? And it's like a obviously unfinished, underbaked Pokemon, Like the sprite work isn't even done, it's just like a placeholder type guy. And that, like, I don't know about, but like, that little round tiger with a lightning bolt on his tummy? Like, I understand wanting him to be around. He looks freaking cute. And then there's that old, like, beta Pokemon frog that looks really similar to the Pokemon Bellibolt that came out in the most recent games. Bellibolt is pretty awesome. But, yeah, I guess I'm going to try not to talk about Pokemon the entire time, because I talked about a lot of Pokemon last time. So this week is the Rivals of Aether public beta for anybody on Steam Next Fest. So I have decided to tell everybody at my gaming club, get in your practice now. Get in your practice now, everybody. You got to play Rivals of Aether 2 for the week that you have in order to get good enough to beat me at the tournament and win $50. So I don't know if people are actually going to be doing that, but I think it would be fun. Because here's the thing, really, I'm like trying to get people to play Rivals of Aether 2 because I like it 1,000 times more than Smash Ultimate. If I could play Rivals 2 against all these people, like every Monday instead of Smash Ultimate at my college, it would just be so joyous. It would be wonderful, everybody. It would be wonderful. Listen, I'm not going to say that there's not some beauty in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch. Like, there are a lot of fun things. I find a lot of joy in playing Joker. I think it's really fun. He's got a lot of cool stuff, and there's always something to work on, and when you read somebody, like, the best thing to do is almost never just grab them or just, like, hit them with a big move, Like, there's always a big combo you can do. And I really enjoy that he is so mobile and fast, and he has, like, a bunch of different stuff he can do. He can be played in a bunch of different ways, like, I don't know, I really enjoy Joker. And I think that there are a lot of things like that in this game that are very fun, and there's a lot of depth to them, That being said, there's a lot of stuff I don't like about the game. And I find that same depth in Rivals of Aether but with a lot less that I dislike. Like, Ultimate has so many characters, but there are just, like, fundamental things about the systems that the game uses that I'm just, like, frustrated by. Like, this isn't gonna mean anything to you guys, but in most, like, Smash-type games, like platform fighters, when you dash back and forth, like, you dash left, and then at any point you can dash right. You know? Like, you can dash back and forth completely freely. But when you play Smash Ultimate, when you dash, your dash is like, you can think of it as a move, almost. Like, you tap left on the stick, and then you do the left dash. And you have to wait for that left dash to completely finish before you can change your direction or do a lot of different actions. And I find that extremely frustrating. I find that limiting in a way that's not fun. It's not to say that limitations cannot breed fun and cannot breed creativity, because they do, but I personally don't like that limitation. You know? And there are just, like, there are a couple things like that in Smash Ultimate, and just, like, the flow of the game, that, you know, I just don't like it that much compared to other games. And Rebels of Ether 2 is definitely something that I have had limited experience with it. I played it in one beta day, and then I played in the tournament, but, I mean, it has so few problems as a game that are at, like, a fundamental level. Like, maybe I'll have, like, grievances with some of the characters and stuff, and, like, fighting against them, but just on a game systems level, like, I really thoroughly enjoy the systems of this game. I have had such a good time playing what I've played, in a way that I am really excited to continue learning. Like, there's this character that's a fox named Fleet, and she's got a bow and arrow. Oh my bejesus. This is terrible, everybody. This is terrible. The traffic is horrible at 3 p.m. on a Monday. I should have left a little bit earlier. I should have left about an hour earlier, but I was dilly-dallying, everybody. I didn't want to leave. Leaving was sad, and I was dilly-dallying. And it seems as though I'm going to pay the price. But anyways, Fleet is really cool, and, like, I don't quite have a grasp yet on how I'm really supposed to approach a lot of different things with her. Like, when I'm here and this person's here, like, what should I really be doing? Like, on a theoretical level, you know? You can go in front of me. What? They just went up in front of me and then turned on their blinker, so I slowed down a little bit. I wiggled my high beams at them. Because it's daytime, everybody. It's daytime. I wiggled my high beams at them to say, you can go in front of me. And then they sped up and they said, no, I'm not getting in front of you. All these people, they're sending me signals, but they don't mean them. So, yeah, I'm excited to learn. There's a lot to learn, and there's a lot to experiment with. And then there's also just, like, getting better at moving faster and, like, thinking faster and just playing more. All these things, they just sound so fun to me. Just because, like, a lot of the combos and stuff that you do in this game, it just feels cool. It just feels really cool. I'm letting a truck go in front of me. I'm wiggling my high beams at them. I want them to know that they're cared for, even though they're driving a giant, annoying truck. There are those of us out there on the road that are going to care for them, because we're practicing safe driving, everybody. And what do you know it? They merged over another lane, and now they're not even in front of me anymore. I'm going to pass them by. How do you do, orange truck? Wow, that truck is hideous. That's a really ugly one. But we're just going to go past. It's okay. Something I've always kind of wondered is, like, what's the purple pillow like? So, I don't know if you guys know, but there's this brand that does, like, bed type things. Like, they have mattresses and they have pillows and stuff, and it's purple. It's called the purple pillow, or the purple mattress. And I'm actually not exactly sure what the material is, but I think they use, like, silicone. I think they use, like, purple silicone to, I don't know. I don't really know, but they make it so that their pillow is squishy and it's really airy, and they say that their pillows are very cool and very supporting, but they, like, cush a little. And it's not all silicone, so you're not just, like, laying on something rubber, but they use some in there, and it looks really interesting, and I've always wondered what it's like. But just realistically, I won't ever buy one, you know? Because I really love my pillow. I really love my pillow. And I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, because someday when the Thursday review returns, there'll be a review of my pillow. During the first, like, you could call it a season of the Thursday review, I could have recorded the pillow episode, but I didn't want to, because I didn't want to, like, make a judgment on this pillow before I'd had it for a while, you know? Because I had gotten it pretty recently. And, you know, it's so wonderful. I love my pillow to death. I love my pillow. But yeah, I don't know. Like, is the purple pillow really that, like, is it that airy? Is it that, like, cool through the night? And another thing is, you know how people say, like, oh, you should get bamboo sheets because it'll, like, make your bed cool? Why? Like, why is that the case? Why is bamboo so cool? Like, I don't understand that. I wonder if any of you penguins know. Because it's like a mystery to me, you know? Like, why is bamboo doing that to the pillow? Or, I mean, the sheets. Like, why is it so... sorry, I'm merging. Why is it so much cooler? I just don't quite understand. But yeah. I saw this thing, because, like, you know, when you hear, oh, a Cybertruck, I feel like I've heard so many people say, like, who would ever get a car like that? It is so ugly, right? But then I saw this short video on the internet. I think it was on TikTok. And someone was like, ew, look at this Cybertruck. It's literally so ugly. Like, who would ever get a car that ugly? Anyways, walking over to my bright green, like, Kia, and it was like one of those box cars, you know, it's like a car that's like it's like cube-like that Kia makes, and it's like bright green and hideous, and it's like, dang, that's kind of true. Like, people do just be driving ugly cars, you know? If it seemed right at the time, then you'll just, like, get it. So I feel like buying an ugly car isn't the problem with getting a Cybertruck. I think it's just everything else. Also, if the Cybertruck was going to look like that, I wish they would have just, like, full committed to making their car look like it was from the PS1. Like, you know, it could have been pretty cool. It could have been pretty cool if it was just, like, actually a PlayStation 1 car. But instead, it's just, like, ugly. I don't know. I'm going to try to merge. Oh, wow. What a kind soul. That car, they let me in. Thank you so much. I think about this all the time. I wish that there was a universal button for thank you in the car, where it would, like, something would happen on the back that would let them know that you said thank you, you know? Because, like, I'll wave my hand, right? I'll, like, have one hand firmly on the steering wheel because we're practicing safe driving, and then I'll lift my other up in between the two seats and I'll wave, right? As if to say thank you to the person behind me that let me in. But, you know, I just can't help but get the feeling that they're not seeing what I'm saying. Because, like, how often am I looking into the window of the car in front of me? I don't know. I'm just not sure if they're seeing it and if they're understanding my thankfulness. And if they don't know that I'm thankful and they're letting me in as a thankless job, then, like, what's the incentive to keep doing it other than just being righteous? I think driving doesn't need to be such a chivalrous act, right? Like, we don't need to have basically chivalry governing, like, road etiquette. Like, we could say our P's and Q's. It just needs to be integrated to the car. Now, here's another problem. Let's say I integrate my own thank you to my car. I add a button, and the button lights up a sign, and the sign says thank you, or something. Or it, like, does a wave, or, like, a thumbs up, right? Let's say that I pull in front of somebody, right? They let me in. At least that's what I think. From their perspective, they haven't been paying that much attention. They notice that I go in front of them and they think they've been cut off. So I think that they've done something kind for me. They think that I've cut them off. If I say thank you, they're already kind of pissed that I cut them off. If I say thanks after that, there's a good chance that they just get really angry at me, you know? And I'm not trying to incite more road rage. Guys, I'm driving past that festival from the last PEGCAST. All the corn is gone. All the inflatable corn has been taken away, but there's still a big carousel. So I think we caught them in the middle of taking it down, you guys. I think we caught them halfway through. But yeah, so, like, I don't want to end up making... Oh my gosh, I should put on my sunglasses. I don't want to end up making the other drivers mad at me. I want to do exactly the opposite. I want them to think, like, yeah, I did do something good, you know? Which is why I think that we need, like universal thank you button. Because if I had my own, it could really be taken the wrong way. But if it's universal, I don't know. Like, would it still be taken that way? Maybe. Actually, I don't think it being universal fixes this issue at all. I haven't really given this much thought, but... How could I do it? I guess it would have to be written in a way such that it would be difficult for it to be taken sarcastically, right? I think I figured it out. I figured it out, everybody. I figured it out. But this is going to be your comment below. Everybody, I'm slapping my arm in excitement. Comment below. That peg, I think that a way to say thank you that could not be taken sarcastically by the driver behind you is, and then I want you to figure out what you think is a good phrase to say thank you that could not be taken sarcastically. And I'm going to give you a good, like, couple minutes, right? It's currently that time to not, like, say, well, whatever. It's currently 3 o'clock for me. So at, like, 3:05, I will tell you my idea. But until then, you have, like, 5 minutes to brainstorm one phrase that you could say thank you with that wouldn't be taken sarcastically. That, like, wouldn't make them angry behind me. And in those 5 minutes, we'll talk about something else. We'll talk about something else, everybody. What is everybody... well, I can't ask you another question, really. Let's talk about fruit, everybody. Let's talk about fruit. So, I keep having this experience... and I think that you could most definitely explain this experience by my ethnicity, because I'm white. I'm a white guy. So, I keep having this experience where, like, I try a fruit at, like, a farmer's market. Or, like, it's like a limited edition thing in a Trader Joe's, you know? And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the yummiest fruit I have ever had. And then I look for it in the grocery stores, and it's not there. And I think, man, this fruit is something I could only ever get at the farmer's market. Like, I can't believe this was so delicious, and I can only get it at the farmer's market. And then I go to, like, 99 Ranch, which is like it's a Taiwanese supermarket. It's like a Taiwanese grocery store, and they just have it, and it's just there. and I'm the fool, really. This most recently happened with, well, I don't know. When I was sold them at the farmer's market, they called them yellow plums. When I saw them at 99 Ranch, they were called green plums, but they were quite yellow. They're delicious when they're ripe, because, like, at least the ones I had from the farmer's market, hold on, I gotta focus on driving. Okay, at least the ones I had from the farmer's market, they were, like, super sweet and delicious on the inside, but the skin was really tangy. And it was, like, so good. Like, oh my god, they were just so delectable. And then I was like, man, it's such a shame that I can't find them literally anywhere. But it turns out that actually I can find them at 99 Ranch. I just have to go there. So that was pretty exciting. But I didn't eat them there. Like, I didn't buy any, because I wasn't trying to spend that much money, you know? Or I was trying not to, I should say. But yeah, so I don't know. It was just delicious. You guys, like, they're quite small. Also, they're very little. They're like if you imagine the size of like a freakishly large strawberry. That's roughly the size of like one of these yellow plums or green plums. If you have the chance, you should really get one, and you should make sure that you know what it looks like when it's ripe, because this is a fruit that you can like obviously tell when it's ripe. You can tell from the outside. And, like, you gotta make sure it's ripe, because it changes the experience, like, wholly, you know? But I really highly recommend having one. And maybe you can't find it, like, right away, but just, like, if you ever have a moment where you see it, then you should get it. And, frankly, if you are, like, close with me, if you're close with me and you see a yellow plum or like a green plum, and you're like, man, like, I know Batpeg, my buddy or my pal in real life, Batpeg, told me that I should get one of these, but like, why would I spend my money? Send me a Venmo request. I will buy your yellow plum for you. I will buy your yellow plum for you, everybody, because it's so delectable, and you gotta make sure it's ripe. If you fumble it, I'm not buying the second one. But I will buy the first. But I'd also rather not buy like a bushel. I guess I can, but, you know, I would rather just fund like the one for the experience, you know? If you want like 5, I could figure it out. It'll be fine. But yeah. So, everybody, it has been about 5 minutes. I hope that you all got down your comment belows, or at least you have them in your head, so that, because I know this is a PEGCAST, right? So, you might not be able to, comment it down below right now, because you might be doing something, right? You might be like, doing homework or something and listening to this in the background. But I hope that you've had enough time to think of what your comment below will be. If I designed a button, I would have it say, I am grateful. I would say, I am grateful. Because what? Is somebody going to be like, if you say thanks, it could be like, thanks, idiot. But you wouldn't say like, I am grateful, idiot. You know? So, if I, like, went in front of somebody, and then I pressed the button and it went, I am grateful, that kind of sounds like a good idea. I wonder how I could actually do that. No, that's too much effort, and that would also take my like, focus off the road. But if I had an I am grateful button, I would be using it. I would really enjoy having an I am grateful button. Whoa, we're slowing down a lot in a short amount of time. I wonder what happened. Oh, there's a car on the side of the road. Hope they're all right. You know what I really wish I was doing right now? That's right, everybody. Eating a cherry plum. Here's the thing. Like, when I eat a normal plum, I'm like, whatever. Maybe I've only had bad ones, but I'm like, whatever. Because, like, the sweetness of a plum is, like, pretty good, you know? But it's, like, fine. It's not my favorite sweet fruit. And the tang needs to be there for me to really enjoy it. But when you mix it with a cherry, because cherries are so good, when you mix it with a cherry, it just, like, turns into something that's beautiful, you know? It just turns into something that's beautiful. And, like, something that's so heartbreaking is, like, you know, like, let's imagine that there's, like, a bear, and he loves to eat berries, right? As bears are known to do. This bear loves to eat berries. And so, you know, the bear goes around in the forest. The bear eats raspberries. The bear eats blackberries. These are the berries that are around. That bear, he might never know the taste of a cherry plum. He might never know the taste of a cherry in general. He might never know the taste of a plum. These are all things that that bear would certainly love, and he'll just never get to know them because he doesn't live in the right place. Not everyone is born equal, everybody. We have to accept that fact and help those that are born less fortunate. Like, you can say, oh, the bear just needs to go find new fruit on his own. But he doesn't have that capacity. Sometimes the bear needs a little bit of aid. We should be delivering the fruit to bears, and we should be helping those who are less fortunate. That's what we should be doing, everybody. Like, there are mice that have never had cheese. Doesn't that make you want to cry? There are mice that they don't even know. And maybe you're like anti-cheese. Maybe you're like anti the dairy industry, and you're like, that's not sad. Like, no mice should have had cheese. And, like, you know what? I can get behind that. But no, like, there are mice that haven't had a blackberry. Like, that's so heartbreaking. That's heartbreaking, everybody. If I was a mouse and I had a blackberry, and then I knew people that didn't have a blackberry, I'd be like, guys, like, I'm so sorry. Like, you really are missing out. Because imagine, if you're a mouse, then each little circle, each little sphere of the blackberry is like a good amount of food, you know? Because you're small, like a mouse. So, like a blackberry, it's like more filling and it's delectable. And then there are probably mice who, like, have only had one blackberry, and it was like a whatever blackberry, like not a really good ripe one. And, like, that's a heartbreaker. Oh my god, is that going to be a crash? Is that going to be a crash in real life right now? I cannot believe they didn't honk. That person is a kind soul. They should have honked. I had to give them space. That's crazy. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, sorry. There was just like it was like two lanes were merging into one, basically. But they had already merged. And then this guy decided that he wanted to go like 2 cars up. So he, like, got back out and started to drive faster on the side, but, like, there was no road left. So he was just, like, half on the road, half off the road, and the car next to him was getting, like, sandwiched, and so it was, like, scary. I really thought that could have been a crash. And the car that, like, was the one who was driving on the side should have been honked at. That was bad behavior, everybody. That was bad behavior. You know, sometimes I think, like, what are some cool things that you could add to a car? And they're not practical. And I certainly, like, if I had them in my car, I wouldn't want to use gas on them. You know? Like, like they wouldn't be worth using per se, but just like fun little features, you know? Like if I had a fridge in my car, like that would be so fun. It wouldn't be worth it, but you know? Like that would be something fun. I'm trying to think of what some other fun things could be. What kind of fidgets could you put on the steering wheel without them like becoming distracting? Like maybe you could put like one soundboard thing, you know, in like maybe, how long ago was this? 3, 6, probably like somewhere 6 to 8 years ago. It was really popular to have those like soundboards where it was like a square with a bunch of buttons on it, and like all the buttons made a different sound, and then people would like make songs with the square soundboard with all the buttons, you know? I wonder if you could just do like one button per side of the steering wheel, and you could like, each one has one sound, and you could just like add like a beat to whatever song you wanted, you know? Like while you're driving, you can just press the buttons like boop, 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 boop. And instead of it being just like slamming on the steering wheel, you would be pressing the buttons and it would come through the speakers and it would sound better. I think that could be pretty fun. I don't know how safe it would be, but that sounds like something that would be fun. Do you ever think about like, you know that dinosaur that had a really long neck and he only ate leaves? Actually, we could just talk about giraffes. You know how like they like only eat leaves from the trees? Like why? Why didn't they go after berries or something? Did they like not like them? That's so interesting, right? Like if I ate a leaf, I would be like, this is like not that good. But if I ate a berry, I would be like, that's delicious. Like do they just not have taste buds? You know? Like they don't taste and they just really like textures, and like these leaves have a really good texture. Or maybe it's like they have taste buds, but they don't have the taste buds for bitterness, and they don't have the taste buds for sweet, you know? So they can't taste the bad parts of the leaf, and they can't taste the good parts of the fruit. So they just like eat what's more prevalent, which is the leaves as opposed to the berries. Like I just wonder, you know? I wonder why the giraffes, I wonder why they don't just eat berries. And maybe they do eat berries, but you know those dinosaurs, they didn't eat berries, they just ate the leaves. I wonder why. Because fruit and berries are so yummy. Fruit and berries are so yummy, everybody. Yeah, so I've been watching Dragon Ball Z recently with my girlfriend. Only when we eat, just because, like, okay, so we would start, like, a show that we were both more passionate about, you know? Like Cammy, she wants to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I want to watch Pokemon Concierge. And we're both interested in watching these shows with one another, but we don't really want to start it while we're so far away from each other and we can't see each other that often, right? So, like, during break, we'll probably watch some, like, Buffy or Pokemon. But right now, while it's, like, we're in school and we're, like, an hour away from each other, we're not really watching it that much, just because, you know, we don't want to, like, start and stop when it's something we really care about. So we've been watching Dragon Ball Z. And we just got to the friggin' awesome part where Vegeta is, like, beating up Cell. Where he's beating up semi-perfect Cell. And, it's so awesome, man. It's so cool. I've had so much fun watching it, because it's just so awesome. Like, I'll be watching, and I'm like, dude, isn't this so cool? I'll pat her on the arm and be like, this is awesome, right? And she's like, yes, this is awesome. I agree. And it's been really fun. Because, like, I haven't seen this in a long time. Like, I know the story beats and I know they're cool, but it's so cool when you watch it. It's so cool. I also finished the second to last season of My Hero Academia. And it was pretty bad. I mean, like like, you know, it's the climax. So there's something to be said for that. Like, the story isn't the worst that it's ever been, for sure. If anything, it's maybe the most interesting that the story has been since, like, I don't know, the, like, school, like, festival type thing, like the battle where it was like all the competition thing. But the problem is that they'll start up and they'll be like, these guys are about to fight, and then you won't see them fight for like 5 episodes. And then when you finally do see them fight, you see like 5 minutes of it, and then it cuts away to something else. And it's just like, it's brutal. It's like a slog to get through. Every week I watch another one and I'm like, wow, something's about to happen. And then, you know, the season ends and it still feels like something is about to happen. Like, it left me on a cliffhanger. Like, I'm just quite frustrated. Like, I don't really love this show, and I never have. Despite how it may seem from how many seasons of it I've watched. But I originally just watched it on a plane because I wanted something in the same way that I didn't want to watch something like stopping and starting with school. I didn't want to watch something in like suboptimal conditions, as in I'm on a plane. So I decided to watch My Hero Academia, and I caught up. I had seen season 1 and I didn't really like it, but I watched seasons 2 and 3 on the plane. And then my friend was like, you gotta watch the rest of it. So I did, and now what, you know? And now what? And now what? I don't know. I don't have any. I don't want to review it because I feel like it would require me to go in and have a lot more like concrete examples, and it would require me to put together some video that shows the kinds of things that I'm talking about. But it's just more effort than I'm willing to put in for a project like that, at least at this stage in my life. Just because I don't think that I would enjoy it. I don't think I would have fun editing that video, you know? Or researching for it. But I do love talking about the things that I love. Because love is something that you can share, everybody. You can share love. And it goes a long way. But I also like talking about the shows that I don't like, because I really enjoy the shows. I enjoy thinking critically about them. That's the thing that I love, you know? So even if I don't like this particular show, there's still love there for me to share. It comes in the form of enthusiasm, as opposed to enjoyment. Can I please? Please? Oh my goodness, let me in. That's crazy. They almost just like lurked into my blind spot. This is where I would say, I'm grateful, or I am thankful, or I am gracious. Well, gracious could come across weird. I'm thankful, I'm grateful. These work. Alrighty. Wow, Golf and Stuff Fun Center. That looks fun, everybody. That looks fun, everybody. I drive past a place with mini golf. Who doesn't love mini golf, though? And don't say me. You better not be saying me. Guys, if you don't like mini golf, then you're doing something wrong. You're not looking at love with enough... you're not looking at life with enough love if you don't like mini golf. Or you're, like, super competitive. And I understand that, I guess. If you're, like, really competitive and you struggle to turn that off and then you lose at mini golf, like, I'd understand not liking it for that reason. But I think largely mini golf is just, like, a fun, silly activity to do. And you just, like, hang out with people that you like and you play. You know? It's like golf, but everything is goofy and there's so much fun stuff to look at. Like, there's a motorcycle somewhere and I can't find them. Oh, they're in my blind spot. It's okay. They went a different way anyways, so I'm safe. Well, really, they're safe. But what was I saying? Oh, yeah, they're just, like, fun, lovely things to look at. Like, when you're going to hit your ball and it's going to go down a hole and it will appear in one of 3 holes, like, you can either look at that as, like, which one am I supposed to do? That's so stupid. Like, why don't I know? Or, like, oh my goodness, like, I'm going to hit it down one of these 3 holes and it's going to be so epic. Like, what if I get the right one, you know? Because mini golf is just not that serious. It's mini. Like, when your golf ball is, like, bright pink, bright blue, like, it's not that real, you know? There's so much to love about mini golf. Everybody, I see some beautiful flowers. I'm stopped right now, like, fully stopped, because there's so much traffic. And off to my left, I see some beautiful flowers. They're a really pretty color, I think, everybody. I think they're beautiful. Everybody, I made a mistake. I needed to drink more water before setting off on my quest. Because I'm already kind of parched. My strength is waning, one might say. And I got a lot more drive left. I got a lot more drive left in my drive. Something that's been interesting about the PEGCAST is that, like, it's helped me understand how long it actually takes me to drive from point A to point B. Because I don't get frustrated by, oh, the flowers, they're closer now. Wow, they're super cute. But yeah, I'm not the type to get, like, annoyed by a long drive. I just kind of steel myself. The only thing that would annoy me about it is if my leg starts hurting, you know? So, yeah, but because of that, I don't really know... because of that, I don't really know how long it takes. Like, anything more than an hour, like 50 minutes plus to an hour and a half doesn't feel that different when you're just, like, listening to something, you know? Well, I guess you could use whatever you're listening to as, like, a time transcript. But if you're listening to music, then it's like, okay, you could count how many songs it was, but you're counting every song? Like, that's just not true, you know? And then every song is, like, oh my goodness. You'll have to excuse me, Penguins. Ugh. Every song is a different length, so, like, you can't really know how long it's been. Like, it would take kind of a lot of work, and I'm not putting in that kind of work. I'm just not. But when I'm recording a PEGCAST, the work is done for me. I just look at how long the recording was, and that's how long I was driving. You know, everybody, when you're faced with being alone and recording something for like an hour and a half, it really makes you come to terms with how difficult it is to fill air. Like, when I'm sitting here trying to think about what to talk about next, it's like difficult, you know? And then I'll get on a track and I'll just like keep talking for like a good 15 minutes. But But 15 minutes is a long time. Like, I'm going to have to exhaust every thought I had about that thing for the 15 minutes. And when I'm done, it's not like you guys respond to me and then I can play off of that. It's not like there's a game in front of me and I can play off of that. I'm just sitting here and I'm talking. I'm talking and I'm talking and I'm talking. There are a lot of cans next to the road, you guys. It's quite sad. And honestly, there's a lot of In-N-Out cups. There are a lot of In-N-Out cups, everybody. I think the most common things that I just drove past were beer cans and cups from In-N-Out. And I guess, like, I should say alcohol cans. Because, like, a Truly technically is not a beer, but, you know, the Truly was there. And so was the White Claw. These are not beers, but alcohol right there is just a little surprising, I suppose. Because the part of road I'm on is a little bit far away from an entrance ramp. Like, you wouldn't really expect it to be somewhere that, like, homeless people are hanging out. And maybe I'm wrong, but I think people are just, like, drunk driving and then throwing their can out the window. So that kind of sucks, but whatever, I guess. Penguins, I know that you wouldn't drunk drive. You mustn't. You simply mustn't. We have to practice safe driving, everybody. And safe driving means don't drink and drive, don't text and drive. Keep your eyes on the road and your hands on the wheel, everybody. Goody gumdrops. That's a lot of birds. Oh my goodness. Wow. Why are they all there? There are these overhead lamps for the night, you know? And they all have so many birds on them. Oh, actually, it was just 2 in a row. But it was like max capacity filled with birds. Like, you could barely fit another bird on there. Like, if you tried to fit another bird on there, all the other birds would be squished and they would be like, stop. Like, there's no room for another bird. Like, what are you doing? And I would consider that max capacity. You know, something that interests me when you know how some elevators will say max capacity and then it'll be a number of people? What I always wonder is, like, are they judging that based on, like, how much the elevator can hold in, like, weight? Or are they basing it off of, like, how many people can fit in this elevator? And the max capacity for rooms, too. It's like, for a convention hall, they'll say max capacity. Like, what is the danger, right? Is it that their ventilation isn't good enough and, like, there could be problems with, like, oxygen? Is it that, like, if there was a fire, they don't feel that it would be easy enough for people to get out? Is it, like, I don't know. Is it, like, literally how many people can fit reasonably? Because, like, I don't know. There are just so many explanations, but I'm not exactly sure what goes into it. I just know that there aren't more people allowed inside, you know? There's so much to learn. Guys, I know this is a hot take, but I'm going to say it right here, right now. And I already have told you this. I think peaches are fine. I like them enough, but I don't love them. And I figure that we should talk about this, because I think that there are some things that you could do to fix a peach in a way that I would enjoy it, right? So, number one is make it less mushy, which really means give me a nectarine, right? Like, if I get a white nectarine and it's a little bit harder than a peach, you know, then I would be a lot happier. But two, if the skin was more tangy, I think I would just like it so much. And maybe this is just me saying I wish that the fruit was like this other fruit that I already like. But, you know, I love that fruit. I really enjoy sour. I enjoy sour a lot. So when my fruit is sour, it makes me happy. I think it's delectable. Last night, I ate miso soup. I know, everybody. I know, it's okay. I know you're jealous. You can get miso soup too, everybody. You should go buy some miso paste and put it in some warm water that is becoming hotter by the second. And then, we made miso ramen, so we put some noodles in there too. And we also put in some bok choy, and we put in some mushrooms, and we put in some tofu. Let me tell you, everybody, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. And I'm a broth drinker. I drank all the broth at the end. I drank all the soup. And it was so good, everybody. It was so good. I just thought it was wonderful. Sometimes miso soup is just like the most delectable thing of all, Miso soup it has this ability to become just the yummiest. So I was recently trying to mod this Wii because we were using it for the gaming room. I think you've already probably heard of this, but we were using it for the gaming room, right? And while using it for the gaming room, we had to be able to run Wii games. I had already modded this Wii like last year or the year before to play GameCube games from an SD card as opposed to using official GameCube discs. But in order to do Wii games, there's like another step you have to take. And the reason I had to mod it to play Wii games, now you might be saying, oh, I know, it's so that you could pirate the games and play them illegally. No, everybody, that's not why. That's not why. We own these games. The problem is that the Wii is broken. The disc drive doesn't work. So I tried to mod the Wii, but I couldn't. I think it's broken in a more fundamental way. I don't think it's just like a hardware reading the disc issue. I think there's a bigger problem inside this Wii. So now it can only play GameCube games because I couldn't mod it. It just wouldn't work. Because you have to do this thing called like a CIO. There's like a CIOS installer or something. And dude, this is crazy. I'm literally in the Great Gatsby right now. There's a billboard with just eyes on it. It's just big eyes on a billboard. I'm in the Great Gatsby. They're orange eyes, so it's not literally the Great Gatsby, but like, it feels like the Great Gatsby, okay? It was like Halloween scary cat eyes, and they were looking at me, and they symbolized something greater. But yeah, so you have to do like the CIOS installer, and I would follow all the steps that you're supposed to do, and then I would click install, and then it would just like literally never install the first part. Like it would just get stuck literally forever. So that's a bit of a shame, It's just a bit of a shame. And there's a second Wii, and that one just works. So because it works, I'm like not that invested in modding it, if that makes sense. Like here, the only reason I would mod this Wii is to future-proof it for future generations of Occidental College students. Like if I mod this Wii and then someone else is like, oh, I want to like, I don't know, I want to use some modded capability of the Wii, then they would look at it and they would be like, oh my god, it's already modded, that's so sick, like that's so helpful, And that would have been helpful to me if I joined the college and it was already modded, but I don't know, it's just like more work than it's worth, because I'm future-proofing it for like other students, but the students aren't gonna want to mod the Wii. Like, Like, I'm future-proofing it for maybe one student in the coming 5 years, you know? Like, I don't know. I just don't think it's worth it. And I thought about modding it so that I could play Project Plus on there, which is just like a really cool Smash mod game. It's like one of the best games I've ever played in my life. But with Rivals of Aether 2 coming out, I think I can just try to get people to play that. And I'm super down to just play Rivals of Aether 2 instead of Project Plus. And that's not to say that Rivals is better, and it's not to say that Rivals is worse. It's just to say that they'll both scratch the same sort of itch. Because I'm already way better than the rest of my college at these games. So, like, because of that, I'm not going to get, like, my maximum enjoyment out of the games, you know? It's not going to be like, oh my gosh, like, I can't wait to play this game every single day and get better and grind and, like, you know? Like, I am going to be playing it with people that are way worse than me, and I'm going to be teaching them. So, I'm cool with doing that with the new game that's coming out, as opposed to this older game that I just, like, have a lot of love for, you know? Because I'll enjoy both of them, and if I'm just teaching and not, like, actively grinding myself, then I don't really care if I play my favorite of two games that I really enjoy, right? So, yeah. I'm just excited to try to get people to play this game. Because I enjoy it so much. I think it's such a beautiful game. There's like, I can't stop thinking about biting into a piece of fruit right now. I wish I could eat fruit. Guys, also, I got some terrible news. I did not get the juice that I was looking for during this weekend. During the PEGCAST, I was hoping for juice. I really wanted pineapple juice or orange peach mango juice, but once I got there, I decided I didn't want orange peach mango juice. I just wanted, like, pineapple juice or, like, passion fruit, you know? And my girlfriend was like, well, we could get this juice, and there's this passion fruit juice that's from concentrate, and I was just like, that is not what I'm here for, though. That's not what I'm here for. So, yeah. It's just sad. It's just sad, really. I'm still left here wanting to drink pineapple juice. Because, like, you know, I don't know, it's just delicious. There's nothing more to say. I'm searching for something more to say about pineapple juice. But it's just refreshing. It's refreshing and it's delectable, you know? It's like when you eat pineapple, but in the drinking form. It's actually a little bit different. In a similar way to how eating an apple and drinking apple juice is different. They're quite different experiences, I think. Because, like, a pineapple, when you eat it, I don't know, even the best parts of the pineapple, they taste a little different than the pineapple juice does. Does that make sense? Surely some of the Penguins agree. And if they don't, then maybe I just have to be enlightened. Wow, I'm still driving past the same kinds of beautiful flowers. It's just like, there will be a long lull where there are none of them, and then they'll appear again. And they're so beautiful. Guys, if I was a plant, I would have the yummiest fruit of all time. And it would be welcome for all bears and mice. At different times of day. And I would, like, if I had this opportunity, imagine this, like, I'm like a blackberry bush, but also I can make a different one in, like, a different season that's a different color and it has a different taste. So, like, in summer and spring, like, at my top branches, I have, like, delicious blackberries. And at my bottom branches, I have, like, maybe, like, a raspberries. You know, I have some raspberries. And then, when it switches, now it's fall and winter, these 2 months. Instead of, hold on, I gotta merge. Instead of having blackberries at the top and raspberries at the bottom, I could switch. And that way, like, at certain times of the year, like the bears are eating blackberries, and the rats are eating, and the mice and the rats, they're eating raspberries. But then at other times of the year, they can get blackberries instead and raspberries instead. You know? And everybody gets different kinds of fruit. And I think that it would be really fun. Because then you could have little conversations with your family. Like, imagine you're a mouse and you're like, oh man, I just can't wait for spring to roll around. And they're like, why can't you wait for spring to roll around, Mr. Mousy? And you're like, because when spring comes around, that's when the friggin' raspberries come back, dude. That's when the raspberries come back. Listen, don't get me wrong, I love a blackberry. I'm just craving a raspberry right now. And they're like, you're heard, little Mr. Mouse. You are heard. We're hearing you and we're agreeing. We stand with the little mouse who wants to eats the raspberries, but the season isn't quite right yet. And they would always have something to look forward to. And then, let's say, like, this rat, he's like sick, you know? And he's like, man, I really wish I had a raspberry right now. Some courageous mice could, like, climb higher up the bush and find a raspberry up high where the bears are eating it. Well, not when the bears are there, of course, but they could find one and they could bring it back and be like, here you go, Mr. Sickly. And Mr. Sickly would be like, oh my goodness, you would do all that for me? When I was really young, I was friends with this guy. We're going to call him BW. We're going to call him BW. And BW, we were friends in elementary school, but he was always, well, I found this out later, you know, we never ate lunch together, even though we were pretty close. And I never really knew why until way later. We were in, I guess, what class would it have been? It was like elementary school. He didn't want to eat with me. And then, like, I would say partway through middle school, it had been years by this point. He's like, hey, Jack, this is so funny. I've never told you this, but you know how I would never eat lunch with you in elementary school? And I was like, yes. And I hadn't really thought about it at that point, but I was like, oh yeah, I guess we were pretty close. It's kind of weird that we never ate lunch together. And he was like, do you know why? And I said, nuh-uh, I do not know why. And he confessed to me, BW did, that, he confessed to me that the reason that he had not been eating lunch with me is because, oh, sorry guys, I was focused on driving. Wow, what a cliffhanger. I bet you're all hanging on that cliff waiting for me to answer what the end of this story is, huh? BW, he says to me, the reason that I would not eat lunch with you is because I knew that you were vegan. And I was like, what? And he said, and then in like third grade, I went on answers.com, like ask.com or answers.com, and said, what do vegans eat? And somebody replied, twigs and berries. And he said that he was really scared that I would offer him a twig and he would like not know how to turn it down, and then he would have to eat a twig. So he like found a troll answer on answers.com and then like didn't eat lunch with me for like multiple years because of it. So I just thought that was really funny. Just reminded me because we've been talking about berries and stuff so much. Me and you, Penguins. We've been talking about it. Oh, goody gumdrops. The traffic has absolutely stopped. I should have left earlier. This is a long, long ride, everybody. This is a long, long ride, everybody. I'm gonna have to find a like gargantuan amount of free time to record all the background footage for these PEGCasts. I guess I could reuse it. Like, I could just record one and reuse it, but that feels like less fun. You know? It feels less fun to reuse the footage. Because what if you're watching and you're like kind of invested? Like am I gonna get first prize? I'm sure that you Penguins are excited to see whether or not I get first prize. There's actually so much traffic that it's taking me a different route than I normally do. I'm gonna have to merge pretty soon. I don't know how to get over there super easily, so I'm gonna do it like earlier than later. Yeah, you can go in front of me, it's fine. I'll go after you. You do have to speed up a little bit though, so I can go. Oh, are they merging? They are. Listen, I would if I could, but they are merging in front of me. Okay, that's 3 cars in a row that just drove very quickly into my blind spot. That's 3 cars in a row, everybody. Wow, that was really difficult, actually. Merging one lane. I'm not even done. I have to get over again. Well, I might be done. I can't really see from here. I think I'll wait a little bit, because the lane that I just merged into is really full, but the one that's to my left is a little bit less full. I don't think it'll be as difficult. Oh, I should have done it though. That was such a big gap. I wasn't looking, because I was keeping my eyes ahead and on the road. That's going to be another gap though. So I think I'm going to try to switch with this person, because they're trying to merge right, and I'm trying to merge left. So I'm going in front, and they're going in where I just left the spot. I did not have to merge. I've gotten far enough to tell that I did not have to do this last one. But you know what? Who cares? I'm not worse off for it, and I've made sure to do it very safely. Ooh, in fact, I'm better off for it. I'm driving behind somebody with a Sailor Moon bumper sticker, everybody. Who doesn't love Sailor Moon? Who doesn't love Sailor Moon? Guys, I watched Sailor Moon, like the series in... Well, I watched it subtitled. I watched the Hulu release of it. Not the new one, the original. And I was like floored. I was really floored by how good it was. I only watched Sailor Moon. I didn't watch like Sailor Moon R or Sailor Moon S or anything. I just watched the first season. It was really freaking good. I was thoroughly impressed. In fact, yesterday, I was wearing a t-shirt that I bought of Rhett Butler, the cat from Sailor Moon, from one episode. It was really good. I highly recommend it. I remember feeling like episode 4 was bad. I think it was episode 4. That was just like a little insensitive. But it was only one episode that I felt like was really insensitive in a way that was like compromising, you know? Not in like a, okay, this show is really old, I get it. It was just like a, ugh. But there was only one episode like that. And that really surprised me. But I had a really, really good time watching Sailor Moon. I thought it was such a fun show. Like, I would finish my homework and I would be like, I need to watch more Sailor Moon, like, right now. As somebody who loves Dragon Ball to death, maybe Kai would fix it a little bit, like Dragon Ball Z Kai, that cuts out a lot of the filler. But, like, if we're just talking Dragon Ball Z versus Sailor Moon is, like, so much better, it's not even close. It's, like, unfathomable. Everybody, do you have a favorite Sailor Moon? What do you call them? Guardian? Bishoujo Senshi? Is that like what do we call him? Do you have a favorite sailor from the moon? My favorite was Mars. I liked Mars the best. I thought she was really fun, and she had the fire power. Which is not to say that I like fire the most out of all the kinds of powers you can have. I don't think it's even particularly high up there, fire, in terms of my own personal ranking, but I don't know. Oh, guys, yesterday, before I ate miso soup, I was thinking about maybe getting a sandwich, like a chicken sandwich type thing. And I was like, man, but like I don't think I can justify it. Like I don't want to spend money on myself, because like I'm fine with going out to eat. I actually kind of dislike spending money on going out to eat, but you know, like sometimes it's fine. But like I don't really love spending money on it, especially if I'm going to be the only one eating. Cuz then I'm like, man, why am I even like spending money here? Like I could just save it, I guess. But the 99 Ranch, that grocery store, is literally right next to the place where I was going to get my sandwich from. So I was like, well, let's just go to the grocery store because it'll close before the place where I'm getting my sandwich. Let's just go. So we went, and as we were in there, we were buying all these ingredients, all the mushrooms and the bok choy and the miso paste, and I was like, man, I think actually I am not going to have the sandwich. And I had the miso soup. And let me tell you, it was like way more filling with all the noodles that I ate and all the bok choy and the mushrooms and all the broth that I drank. Really, the broth was what was doing it. I felt so full. And it was good because, like, you know, like when you cook the bok choy and when you cook the mushrooms, all those nutrients that normally get like cooked out are cooking into the broth, and then you drank it, and then you're healthy. So that's like something fun, I think. I find that to be enjoyable. I wish that I had soup right now. I'm actually like not hungry enough to eat it, but I wish I just had like a yummy soup. To be loved is to be changed, you guys. I was never like, I didn't have that much soup before I met my girlfriend. But I met her and now I'm like, soup, 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 you know? Like I want soup. And it could be any kind of soup. But like, I would be down to have miso soup again, because here's the thing. While we were in the grocery store, we were trying to determine whether we wanted white miso paste or red miso paste. And my girlfriend was like, let's get the white miso paste. And I was like, alrighty, you know best. And I was like, but why? Could you explain? And she said, I think that like red miso paste is just like a little bit, like, I don't know, like it's too much or something. I don't really fully remember how she described it, but like that was the gist. It was like it was a little too much, you know? And I was like, that's interesting. Because we didn't really know what the difference was. But she was just like, I think that red is like maybe too salty or something. So we looked it up, and that's basically the difference, is that red is like more, it's been fermented for longer, right? And white has been fermented for less time. And I found that I think next time I really want to try it with red miso paste. I'm just kind of excited. I want to try it. Because I thought the white miso paste was fine. Like, really, the joy of that soup was the fact that I was eating soup and there were noodles in it and it was tofu and, like, mushrooms. And the bok choy we got, I thought was okay, but it was, like, not my favorite, you know. Which isn't to say it was bad. It's still bok choy, but I would like to try it with red miso paste next time, just because I think that I would enjoy it more. I think that I would like red miso paste more than white miso paste, personally. And we tried the white for my girlfriend, so now it's my turn. That's not really how I feel about it. Not like, oh, now it's my turn, but I want to try red miso paste with the soup that we made, just to see if the problem was, like, the miso paste that we used, or if we, like, needed to put nori in it, or, like, what. You know? Because there was something, for sure. Something had to change. Also, we might want to put seaweed in it next time. I didn't really think about this, but we could get like a snack cup of seaweed and put a bunch of seaweed in it. I think that would be fun. Or we could get not a snack cup of seaweed and put that in it, and it would probably be just as fun. I should bring that up. Actually, I guess I don't have to bring it up. She'll probably hear this. Huh. Welp, guys, I'm behind a big truck. I don't like it. I think I'm gonna try to get over. I have so much space to merge right now that, like, it's not even that serious, you know? I think I'm just gonna, like, get out of the way. Because I'm getting off of this highway in, like, just over a mile anyways, so... At some point during this drive, like pretty early on, I dropped back down to 45 average miles per gallon, but I'm back up to 45.1. So that's another 0.1 mile that I'm getting out of every gallon of gas I put in the car, everybody. If you think about how that stacks up over time, like, that's crazy, right? Think of all the miles that you drive in a lifetime. Think of how much money you save, especially with, like, high gas prices. It's just nice. I wish that my car could run on my energy after I have eaten a delicious fruit. Because then instead of spending money on gas, I could just eat a bunch of yummy fruit. And then, you know, we could just, like, it would run the car off of that. So I wouldn't have to pay for gas, but I would have to pay for yummy fruit. And I'd be like, well, I mean, there's no fighting it. I just have to have the yummy fruit, and then I got to pick the yummiest fruit I wanted. Guys, speaking of yummy looking fruit, when's the last time one of you guys played Pikmin 3? Like, all the fruit in that game looks so good. It all looks so good, because basically in Pikmin 3, like, you are, like, your characters, you play as a group of 3 people, and you gotta, like, find fruit, and then you've, like, at the end of the day, whatever fruit that you've collected will be squeezed into juice, and then that juice is, like, the sustenance for your team, right? That sounds way more complicated than it is, I promise. Also, you should play Pikmin. It sounds really overwhelming, and it sounds like it wouldn't be your thing. I understand. I also felt that way, and then I played Pikmin, and it's, like, actually the best thing ever. Pikmin is so fun. But yeah, basically, all the all the fruit that gets squeezed into juice, it just looks so good, man. It looks so good. I wish that I had it right now. I wish that I was a Pikmin, and if I saw one strawberry, it would, like, feed me forever, and I could just keep eating that delicious strawberry, you know? Also, I have a question, everybody. You know how strawberries have so many seeds and they're all so tiny? Like, do those grow more strawberry plants? And if so, like, why are there so many of them, and why are they on the outside? Like, do strawberry seeds just, like, really suck at growing or something? And, like, they need to have way more seeds, or they just, like, don't grow? I don't really understand. This is an inquisitive type day for your pal Batpeg. It's an inquisitive type day. I hear a loud car. Oh, I see the loud car. They sped up to become loud, but they're stuck in traffic just like the rest of us. So they're actually back to going slow again. Whoa! Everybody, big rejoice. 45.2 miles per gallon. That's the average for my last 30... Sorry, I'm focused on driving. I can't read the amount of numbers because there's also a decimal, I think. In my last 3,836 miles, on average, I have had 45.1 miles per gallon. It went back down. But that means I'm at the upper bound of 45.1, you know? I'm like 45.19 or something. Just who doesn't love a good miles per gallon? Think of all the money you're saving when your miles per gallon is good. Everybody, this is something to think about. If your car gives you hints on like how to drive in a way such that you will conserve more gas or like drive more efficiently, then you should take those tips, man. They're pretty helpful. Think of all the money you could save. I'm back up to 45.2 and we're on the road. Oh, actually, now that I am here, I gotta get over. Alrighty, I'm over. Good thing that I kept my eyes on the road, although I was taking glances at my miles per gallon. Good thing I was keeping my eyes on the road and my focus where it needed to be, everybody. Good thing I kept my focus where it needed to be. Also, so yeah, that's the thing with strawberries is like, are they, like, what's up with them? Like, why do they need all those seeds and why are they on the outside instead of the inside? Also, another thing that's interesting to me is like watermelon. Like, it's quite hard, you know? It's like gatekeeping itself from small animals, and I wonder why. Like, evolutionarily, what's the advantage to being so difficult to get in there for? Small animals, they just can't eat watermelon. Unless someone else has already opened it for them. And most animals, when they open a watermelon, like, imagine a hippo eating a watermelon. Like, that's what I'm imagining. They just go like, and then the watermelon is like exploding in their mouth. And like, if I'm a mouse, I don't know that I want to be eating that. You know? Well, that's not really what I mean. If I was a mouse, I would eat that, but like, how much is there going to be? You know? And also, watermelon is so much water. It's like an enigma. The amount of fruit to flavor ratio is like not normal. You know? Like, citrus fruits are so flavorful. They really pack a punch. We're talking about oranges, we're talking about tangerines, we're talking about lemons, we're talking about yuzu. These things, they pack a punch. They got a lot in there, you know? In a small volume, a lot of flavor is contained. But that's not really the case with watermelon. With watermelon, it's like, it's mild, it's very water. It's very water. Melon. Also, here's another thing that confuses me. Cantaloupe, honeydew, both just called melon. Are they the same fruit? Are they the same fruit? They're like different kinds? Are they like both kinds of melon? And if they're both kinds of melon, why are they so similar while watermelon is so different? Right? Like, I don't know. There are just like so many mysteries about fruit. There are just so many mysteries, and I wish that I had the answers to them. But more than the answers to them, I wish that I had a cherry plum. Oh, how I want. I meant to say, oh, how I want a cherry plum, but it wouldn't come out. I just want it too bad. My words are not the priority. That person has fuzzed their Toyota up. What the heck? Their whole Toyota Camry, old car, covered in like fur. Like it's fluffy. That is freaking weird. That is weird, man. I've never seen that before. That was freaky. They covered it all in fluff and fur. Alrighty, it's a green light. It's a green light, everybody. And I gotta merge. And because there are so many cars, I think the way that I should do this is speeding up and then merging in front of the cars. But I'm going to take my time with it so that it doesn't feel to them subjectively like they have been cut off. Hopefully it doesn't feel like I cut them off to them. Hopefully they don't feel that way. Guys, there's a 7-Eleven right there. They have a buy 5, get 5 free. I don't know what it's for, though. When you purchase 5-piece traditional wings. Guys, I always forget that 7-Eleven has wings. That just feels like the place... It doesn't feel like the kind of place that you want to buy wings from. You know? Maybe I'm the fool. But 7-Eleven seems like the kind of place that you want to like get a snack from. Not like a meal. But I heard that they're bringing a lot of Japanese stuff from like Japan 7-Eleven over. And everybody loves Japan 7-Eleven apparently. They got like rice balls and stuff that's yummy. And you know, I would be down for that. I would be down for that. There are some foods, like, that I feel like are just, like, my emergency foods, you know? Like the alarm's going off. They're like, you're out of energy. And you just gotta, like, eat something that, like, will fuel you. Sometimes I get Waba Grill, and I get a tofu bowl. Dude, I mean, that is fuel. Like, you feel full after eating a Waba Grill tofu bowl. It's just like, you know, it's like just a bowl of tofu and rice. It's really filling. And what made me think of it is that, like, if 7-Eleven had rice balls that were filling, then, like, that could be another, like, emergency food. You know? I, for one, would be welcoming with open arms to 7-Eleven having rice balls. I think that would be pretty awesome. But it wouldn't do what a cherry plum would do for me right now. A cherry plum for me right now, that would fix my whole day. Well, not that my day has been bad, just it would set me on a good path. I would feel happy and awesome if I had a cherry plum. I would feel happy and awesome. But instead, I don't have one. Instead, I don't. So, I will just have to deal. In my room where I'm driving to, I have like Chewy bars, and they're not the best, but they are quite filling. So I think I might eat one of those and drink like a lot of water when I get in, because my throat is really dry from recording this. My throat is very dry. But I'm excited. I'm excited to get back. I'm excited to chill out. I'm excited to eat a snack and drink a lot of water. There's a lot to be excited for. But, man, if I just had some fruit, if I just had a kiwi, guys, what's up with kiwis, too? Why they make it hairy? It's as if they don't want you to eat it, you know? But I thought that evolutionarily the fruit was supposed to spread the seeds. So they do want you to eat it. Maybe it encourages, like, birds of prey to eat it, you know? Like a hawk. They'll, like, swoop down and be like, that's a mouse! And they eat it, and it's a kiwi. And you're like, what? That's a kiwi! That's what the bird would say. They would be like, what? That's a kiwi right now. And then they would spread the seeds. But, man, I mean, kiwis are delicious. And something that's interesting about the kiwi is that, like, it's tart and wonderful in the green part. And then you know how there's, like, the middle part of it that's, like, it's, like, a little more yellow. It's, like, kind of, like, pale. That part really, it kind of tastes like a banana. It tastes like a banana a little bit. So it's like every kiwi that you eat is like a kiwi banana type mix, you know? Or at least that's the way that I feel when I get a kiwi. And it reminds me of like a delectable smoothie. You know, sometimes you get your smoothie and you're like, wow, the banana is really doing the heavy work here. Like, I barely put any banana in. This thing is overpowered with banana flavor and it's awesome. That's how I feel a lot of the time when I have a smoothie. Is I'm like, dang, this just tastes like banana, and that's awesome. I love the taste of banana. That's how I feel a lot of the time. And sometimes that's how I feel when I eat a kiwi. I'm like, wow, I love this tart flavor. And then it's like, what? There's a hint of banana in there. Wow, that's awesome. I really needed that. The banana certainly isn't overpowering in the kiwi, you know what I mean? But, like, you get the tart and it's so delectable. And then also there's that little banana, and it just, like, balances things out, and it leaves you feeling happy. At least it leaves me feeling happy because I really like kiwis. Oh, I gotta get out my card to beep into the parking lot. Guys, I think it's extremely likely that I'm not gonna have to park in the scary garage again. I think it's extremely likely that I'm not gonna have to park in a scary garage like last time. Like 2 PEGCasts ago. Beep, 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 beep. Alrighty. Let's head on in. Let's head on in to this here garage. Why does it look full? Why does it look full? It's break. Oh, I have sunglasses on. No wonder it looks so dark. Why does it look so full? No. No, don't do this to me. Well, I'm going to go to the upper floor. There's somebody coming down. And if they're coming down because there are no spots, I'm going to lose it. Oh, no, they're just leaving. There are tons of spots. Hooray! Guys, I got a favorable parking spot right now. I actually got a favorable spot. Not even just, oh, I got a spot, hooray. Like, I got a good one, hooray. Let me make sure I'm parked straight. This spot is quite big, so I can't exactly tell. Okay, yeah. I was straight. Well, anyways, guys, that was pretty successful. And if you look, this driving back, it took me only roughly an hour and 40 minutes. So that's pretty nice. I hope that you all get a fruit. I hope you all get a fruit. Because I can't, so I'm not going to wish for myself to get a fruit. It's just not feasible. But I hope you all get a fruit and it's delectable and that you have a great time eating it. Anyways, guys, that's going to be the end of this episode. Like, subscribe to all the good stuff. And yes, goodbye.